I'm going kayak camping tonight so that tomorrow I can paddle to what I think is one of the prettiest lighthouses in Maine. It is not the tallest, it is not the most famous, but something about it has my heart and my attention, and I don't know exactly why. That's what this episode's about, to try to figure out why I love this magical place so much. So come kayak camping with me and come find out why I think this is one of the most beautiful spots on the entire coast of Maine. Left out of Tibbett Narrows today in South Addison, Maine. It's a place I've been out of a lot. It's a fantastic hand carry launch here in a pretty quiet part of the state that gets you access to some really beautiful things. Today my goal is to go to Green Island and camp there overnight. And it's not terribly far from the launch, and that's actually on purpose because it is Friday at like maybe 4 o'clock. And my goal right now is just to get to camp and get set up at camp on Green Island. Then tomorrow, early, I'm going to make a run out to Nash Island Light. And I'll talk more about Nash Island in a little bit and why it has my attention as one of the most amazing spots along the coast. But the weather tomorrow afternoon is real bad, and I want to be off the water pretty early. So one of the ways to make this trip work was to camp about halfway there, get up early tomorrow, make the last little run to Nash Island, and then get off the water tomorrow, hopefully before the weather gets too bad. It's going to be a little bit of a question mark tomorrow when I depart Green Island if the weather's holding off or not. So that's going to be one of the things that we're going to have our eyeballs on tomorrow morning. So a few tidal considerations in this area. Nothing that I think most experienced sea kayakers would worry too much about, but there are some narrow spots and there's some water ripping through these spots at max flood and max ebb. It's all manageable, it's all doable, but it does create kind of a slightly noisy sea state if you're not ready for it. Green Island is a beautiful flat island with a few stands of trees on here. I was actually here a few years ago in an episode where I was surveying for storm damage after some really bad storms came through. Ever since that trip, I was like, man, I really want to camp here. I really want to camp here. But it is exposed, it is open, there's not a lot of protection, and it takes a warmer day with not too bad winds, although the winds aren't great tonight. I love these ledges off of the southeast side of Green Island. I can just imagine water blasting off of them in a big winter storm. So there are two possible landing spots here on Green. One is back there on the southeast facing side. It's much more exposed to anything coming in. It also has those rocks that are just big enough where you can't successfully navigate them and just small enough that you can't really stand on them without risking an ankle injury. It's like the absolute worst size of rocks. If you've experienced it, you know. I'm going to zip around. I got plenty of time here in the day. I'm going to zip around to the landing on the northwest side. Did I say that was the southeast? I forget what I said. Southeast landing, and there's another one on the northwest side that I'm going to go check out. It's a little grosser, particularly at low tide, but you are protected from the swell, so you've got a little bit more time to manage things. See if I can fit through here. Loaded boat. I don't know how much better it is, but I'm not sure it's worth going around. Not that it's terribly far, but this will do. This will do for a landing. Okay, welcome to Green Island. Let's get camp set up and I'll show you around. me set up here on Green Island. It took a little bit longer than I had thought it was going to take. It was hard to find a truly flat spot, and I'm not even convinced I found a truly flat spot. I contemplated setting up on the ledges, but with the wind today, I thought I'd just be fighting trying to anchor my tent. Let's walk around the island a little bit. A little less windy here on the southeast side. That northwest side's definitely getting a lot of wind. It was kind of tedious getting the tent set up, and I contemplated my decisions, but the wind is going to intensify a little bit until about midnight, and it's going to die down and shift from the south, so I'll actually be in a pretty good spot there. Not that there's like a lot of protection on this island, but at least I'll have most of the island between me and whatever wind does come in overnight. Nash Island in Nash Island Light. Okay, why do I love it? I don't know. This is why we're here to find. The framing of this episode is that it is my favorite lighthouse in the state, and it's true, it really is. It's not because it's the tallest, it's not because it's like in the most rugged area, it's about the story that exists there. There's something about the story. And I'll start telling some of it now and share a little bit more of it later, but the short version right now is that there's a permanent herd of sheep on the island. And I, among other things, knit. In the winter, or particularly when I have more time, I enjoy knitting. There's something about the fiber and the creating something and the coziness of it that I really love. So something about wool that speaks to me. And the idea that there's sheep there that are prized for their wool, and they're kept there all year long. It blows my mind that in the depths of winter, in the rain and the thunderstorms, in the wind and the heat, those sheep are there on this rugged scrap of an island. Turn this southwest corner and making my way back around the ledge. And I wanted to share with you a little bit about the Saguenay trip. First of all, I want to thank my friend Simone, who I met here on the channel, who was our impromptu tour guide and local in the area. It was just an absolute delight to get to finally connect with Simone and paddle with him and Hughes, his friend. And really want to thank them for all the effort they put in to making that trip a reality for Wendy and I. And the short part of the story is that we just didn't have the weather window for it. Maybe we were a little too early in the season. We didn't have enough days to wait out thunderstorms and 30-knot winds in really the most committed part of the fjord. So because of that, we changed our plans and we came up with a plan B and actually got off the water a day early. So maybe thinking back, seeing some of those conditions would have had me say maybe we come up with a plan B a little sooner than we did. But we had a great time exploring the fjord for the parts of the fjord we did. And again, can't wait to get back. It's the launch we came up on a little bit closer to low tide. And it's going to be low tide when we leave tomorrow. After walking around the island and playing with the drone a little bit, there's not a whole lot more time. I brought my watercolor kit, and I don't think there's really going to be much time. I maybe have maybe an hour of light left. I'm not terribly hungry. I think I might eat after dark tonight. But I might just spend some time enjoying this lovely island here in the warm summer sun. There's a channel marker, a gong, that's been ringing, and it'll make a nice evening lullaby, that gong going all night long. It is just beautiful out here, friends. It has been a long winter, spring with not a whole lot of camping, and obviously not a whole lot of camping for you on the channel with me, that is. You might be camping a lot, I don't know. But here on the channel there hasn't been a camping episode in a while. And I just love it so much out here. Sometimes I feel like it can be such a hassle to get like out the door. But once I push off from the beach, the boat's loaded and I push off for the beach, that everything just kind of settles in and the world feels right. Okay, friends, I'm going to start organizing dinner, start getting camp organized because it's going to be dark here soon and I don't want to have to do a whole heck of a lot when it's dark. So I'm going to go do that and maybe catch you a little bit closer to sunset. I'm losing the last little bit of light here, and I spent the past hour watching these islands change colors and watching the purple come in and watching the sky go from orange to peach to pink. Friends, I hope you have these places in your life where you can touch into something this beautiful, this magnificent. But if you ever get the chance to experience this, I'd suggest it. This light's gonna fade here pretty soon and I'm nowhere near ready for dinner, so I think it's gonna happen much later. And I really hope the weather holds tomorrow. Forecasts are forecasts, they can change, but hopefully it'll hold and hopefully we'll get a good weather stretch to get out there so you can get a sense of what I love about that place. And it's hard to convey the story. It's hard to get those pieces across. It's hard to share something you deeply love and express all of it. And we're gonna see what happens tomorrow. I hope I have a fighting chance at doing some of that for you. And I hope you get a little bit of that magic with me tomorrow. Okay, friends, well, I will catch you tomorrow morning. Morning. I did not sleep great last night. I got about 5 hours of sleep, maybe less, and just tossing and turning. And I also had a really hard time getting to sleep last night. But here we are this morning, and it's lovely. It's calm. The ocean looks like a lake, and I checked the weather report, and our window is there. So I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to make coffee, which is a priority for me, and then get camp packed up and get on the water, which is a priority for you. So I'm going to see you on the water. Nothing quite like a low tide launch, but we're on the water and we are on our way to Nash Island. Cloud cover came in, super sunny this morning and got really hot in the tent. And then ever since I've been kind of packing up, the cloud cover came in, which is nice, maybe keep things cool a little bit. But I think this is the beginning of what I want to keep my eyes on later today. But in the meantime, I'll take the cool temperatures. About a third of the way to Nash Island. This is a, about 2 mile crossing, maybe a little less. And I tried to express it yesterday when I was walking around Green Island and seeing Nash for the first time. And I think I did a pretty inadequate job of describing a little bit about like the why. sheep farming on islands has been a thing in Maine and other places for that matter for centuries. So there's a story there of people and time and centuries that really has my attention. Something beautiful about it, I think. And then there's the critters themselves that are out there all year long. I find that when I do have time to knit in the winter and I'm all comfy and cozy in my living room and maybe the fireplace is going, I think of these sheep out here, just bracing on the leeward side of the island against a nor'easter. Nash to me also has a ruggedness that it's quiet. It's a quiet ruggedness. It's a treeless island, probably because there's sheep on it. It's grass covered. It's not particularly high. It's not in a particularly notable part of the state, but it just sits so peacefully here at the mouth of Pleasant Bay and Addison. Attached to that, the romantic notion of a lighthouse and what all of that means. And Nash has become a kind of a tender spot for me. It's a beautiful crossing over to technically Big Nash. There's two islands here, Big Nash and Nash, regular sized Nash. There's a cabin on Big Nash. The lighthouse is on Nash. And there's a very healthy bird colony on Big Nash. Okay, over to Nash. There it is, Nash Island. It's an island of contrast to me. That sap green grass in the summer against this indigo sea and the whitewashed lighthouse standing on the silhouette of the horizon. Like it just feels like you're dropped into an Andrew Wyeth painting with 200 seagulls. Gonna spin around Little Nash, see what the south side looks like. There might be a little bit more dynamic water on that side with the swell. Starting to see the wisps of some rain inland, but the wind seems down and there's no really big clouds that are freaking me out yet. Can't tell if that's a lobster buoy or a gray seal. That's a gray seal. That was a big head. Gray seals look like horses a little bit. Or is it? Is that a lobster buoy? I think it just went under. Yes, hi buddy. Gray seals look like horses a bit, and harbor seals look like dogs. Gray seals are a lot bigger. Hi buddy. Oh, I hope you can see him in the camera. See if we can hang out for him. Hi. Hi there. I think it's my first gray seal this season. A lot of harbor seals, but I haven't seen any gray seals yet. I'll have to watch back over the footage of the 360 camera on my back deck. Maybe he'll pop up behind me. Fingers crossed. The history of this place is, I think, part of the romantic side of it for me. There's been sheep herding, specifically on this island, for the better part of 2 centuries. And it stopped for a while at the turn of the 20th century. And a woman in Addison decided to revive the sheep herd here. And then a little bit more recently, a younger family has sort of picked up the charge and maintains these sheep. So that story has a lot of the energy of this place for me, let alone the landscape and the ruggedness and the beauty and honestly the softness. I actually think this island, I said ruggedness, but I think the softness of this island really intrigues me. The fact that it's not just a huge ball of rock with tall trees and impenetrable forest on it. The fact that you can kind of take the whole thing in. And maybe the grass gives me this illusion of softness that I don't get on other islands. I know in the film industry, a really common phrase is it's all about the story. And I think that's what's going on here. It's the story. It's such an idyllic, romantic Maine experience. Look, like an island off the coast where there's a permanent herd of sheep that's prized for its wool with a lighthouse. I mean, perfect storm of quaint Maine things. So when I think about why I really love this place and why it holds my attention, it's got to be all of those stories coming together, combining into something, and the experiences that I have when I get to see this place and feel into that, feel into the energy of the people. And it's fascinating because, like, you know, there's easier ways to raise sheep in 2026 than on an island, right? Like, maybe a couple of centuries ago or a century ago, sure, but this is hard. Like, the people doing this are signing up for some tough stuff. And that has my attention as well. Like, not doing something easy or not giving up on a tradition or a heritage. That's also a very Maine experience. I think also at the heart of it is I hope this place endures. I hope we don't all just abandon these things in our life that could be done easier or could be done differently, that there's value in the experience and the story and the narrative. I realize I'm struggling telling you the story of why I love this place. And I guess first off, I think I'm stuck because my goal isn't to make you love it, it's to share why I love it. So when I think about that, I think about the love I have of this island really is rooted in the energy, the story, and the history. That's really what it is. That not knowing any of those things, you'd be like, yeah, great, a grassy island with a lighthouse. But with those things, for me, it transforms into something that has a life. It has generations of people. It has this thing that Maine does that like compresses time, and all of a sudden 3 centuries later people are doing similar things on that island. It's a magical thing about this state that happens here that I don't know if it happens too many other places. I hope this episode got you thinking about the places in your world that you love, the places that are either on the ocean or not that have a similar type of vibe and energy for you. I'd love to know what those are if you feel like sharing them. Hope you enjoyed coming kayak camping with me. It was great to be in the tent. It's great to be on that island and have that experience. We had great warm weather for it, so it was nice to do that. I've got to take you on more of those. All right, friends, I'm going to make my line back here. So as always, I hope you enjoy your adventures, whatever they are. And until next time, safe paddling. Bye for now.